This is Basketball More Than a Game with your hosts, Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Now here are Coaches G and Q.
Hey folks, appreciate you tuning in for another Fast Break episode of Basketball More Than a Game. I'm Coach Goins along with
Coach Quick.
That's right, Coach. As we celebrate Black History Month, what we're going to do, we're going to step outside of the box, and we are going to honor all of our guests by having a recap of our 2021 show. So with that, Coach Quick, what do you think?
Yes, sir. Big time guest list in 2021. Had so much fun, man. And hey, everything was just exciting in 2021 and looking for bigger and better things in 2022.
So with that, we're going to step away as we celebrate our Black History Month, honoring all of our guests, no matter what race, color, creed. Make sure your sneakers on and laced up, and we'll be back. All right, so listen, folks, make sure you got them laced up because it is the year in review. And somebody says year in review. That's exactly right. So we're going to be tossing out some names and people that were on the show. And you know what, Coach Quick? We're going to play the name game myself.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss out one of our guests that we had on 2021. And guess what? It ain't going to be in order. I'm just going to talk it out, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You a sharp guy, but I'm going to put you on the spot today. I'm going to toss out a name, and I want you to come back and tell me what you remember about the show and why was it impactful. You good?
Okay.
All right,
yes,
so we ain't playing we playing the name game, but it's called the name game of our guest. All right, so with that, not going in any type of order, our guest had won a national championship. Matter of fact, has won the national championship twice. None other than Coach Mike Apple. Your thoughts?
Big time, and he's a Viking. Former Union Pines Viking. We shared that platform together as students at Union Pines, as well as we worked together as coaches. And Coach Apple's show was big time. You know, he talked about how he won his first national championship at Sand Hills Community College, and then he talked about how he won it the second time. He had a much more hunger for winning after he won the first one. And I get that from most coaches, but Coach Apple stated that he had a hunger and a passion to get that second one after winning the first one.
You know what? That's a great assessment. And the thing that stands out with me with Coach Apple is when he talked about his former coach, the late Jack Jensen from Guilford College. And that, and those are the things when you look and you go through life and you come across coaches that are impactful, just like my late coach, Coach Capel, Jeff Capel II. Those are things that are special, and I certainly appreciate you entertaining that one. All right, so here we go. We're going to go up north a little bit. You had an opportunity to land this guy, and he was originally coaching at UNC Greensboro. Now he's at Fifth Third Arena for the University of Cincinnati. Chief of Staff, Chris Laporte. What stands out?
Yeah, Chris Laporte was just a nice guy. I mean, really getting to know him, man, it was outstanding. And the way he talked about landing his top recruit and Miss Jennifer Laporte now, that stuck out with me a lot. And just the way that he communicated and much dialogue with us about how happy he was to be on staff with Wes Miller at Cincinnati, being a part of his staff at UNC Greensboro, and just going on to bigger and better things in Bearcat country. So Chris Laporte was outstanding. He talked about his kids. He's a family guy, just a really nice, humble guy who's up and coming in the coaching ranks. And I look forward to having him on the show again.
You know what we got to do? Anytime Cincinnati's coming close, he told us. He said, man, if y'all want to come to Fifth Third Arena, we going to call them out. We're going to roll up on them. But you're exactly right, Coach. We're just, you're doing a great job summarizing this stuff. And, yeah, Chris Laporte is just, he is up and coming. It is what it's about. It's about, the work-life balance. Make sure that, you're taking care of work, making sure you're taking care of home. and he was just an absolute pleasure to have on the show. All right, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to move from Cincinnati, and we're going to drop down in Baltimore, Maryland. And who we had on from Baltimore, Maryland, and one of my former classmates, a great friend of mine. Her name was Jackie Thompson. So, Coach Quick, what do you remember, and what are some of the highlights from the Jackie Thompson episode?
Mama Jackie.
Mama
You
Jackie.
know, yes, sir. Just the fact, her passion, and to help individuals who having problems with substance abuse, just her passion for those guys, it was outstanding. She started out in the program herself, and she eventually graduated and became a director of the facility that she's working at, and just outstanding. I will always remember Mama Jackie, just her passion, her time, and the things that she does for individuals with substance abuse is just amazing to me. And she puts her heart in it. Her heart is on the line each and every day.
Coach Quick has dialed it up. He's exactly right. Mama Jackie, and some of the stories that she told, and her being now the director of housing, and getting people squared away. So, you know what, Coach? You're absolutely nailing it. All right, so are you ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right, so here we come. This gentleman is a pastor. You may know this pastor. I think he's a pastor of the church they call The Grove.
Yes, sir.
And that is Pastor Bernard Hamilton Sr. What stands out, Coach Quick?
Well, first and foremost, Pastor Hamilton Sr. is near and dear to my heart because he's my pastor. He leads the flock where I attend, and he's doing an outstanding job. And I just talk about how during his show, his leadership and just his time in the military, what he's done for our country, being a chief warrant officer, W4. That's what he retired as. He spoke on, as well as retirement after military. Make sure you got your stuff in order. Make sure you submit your paperwork ahead of time, so you're not going to the mailbox to check for something that is not going to be there. It's just his passion and leadership for leading people to Christ. That means everything to me. And under his guidance, I'm truly blessed to be a member of his flock. And he's God sent. That's the main thing that I can say about him. He's a family oriented man, and he comes from a blessed family, and he has a lot of passion for his two grandboys, Covington and Calvin. He said he can't keep up with them because they run him, but he loves those little guys to death, and just the fact that he was raised up in a home where his late great grandfather, the Reverend Esau Hamilton, pastored 5 churches, so he had a roadmap to follow throughout his life. So that's what I remember about Pastor Hamilton: his passion, leadership, and the love for his family and for his congregation.
You know what? That's why we're on the show. That's why we're doing the show, celebrating all of our guests during Black History Month. And the thing that stands out with Pastor Hamilton is when he was talking, I said, if you were home, what would your grandma cook? And you know what? And I'm not him, Coach Quick, but when I said that, I really think I took him back to the kitchen when he was in South Carolina, because he framed it out, man. He took us down through there, man. He was like, man, them crab cakes all the way down through, and what she would be cooking. So yeah, we appreciate Pastor Hamilton and his body of work, and certainly appreciate you doing a great job summarizing that. All right, so let's turn our attention. We're going to go to the capital city in Raleigh, North Carolina. Actually, if we were walking in Spalding Gymnasium on the campus of Shaw University, our guest was Bobby Collins, the head men's basketball coach at Shaw University. What stands out?
Man, BC was just a storyteller, and basically how he told the story about his brother, and the KFC chicken box. Man, that was big time. How he told us about his time with Coach Capel, being his coach at the high school level, being at Old Dominion, coaching Joe Bunn. It's just big time to hear from Coach Collins. Like I said, he told us about how you two guys grew up as friends and you've been friends your entire life. Just his passion for his family, his passion for the game of basketball, his passion for life. Coach Collins is a true storyteller, and I enjoyed being on the show with him and just having a conversation about life, skills, success, and basketball.
Well, you know what? That's exactly right. And we get ready to take a break. Before we step away, you exactly right. When you said about that story, when he said the difference between his brother and that dog was, he said his brother was hungry, but that dog was starving.
Yes, sir.
And then sometimes, and that's a lot of times people out here in the world, a lot of people may be, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying, folks. A lot of people are hungry, but they're not starving, and that's what's keeping them from achieving greatness. That's what's that's what's keeping them from achieving the things that they need to achieve. And we're gonna step away, but this is Coach Quick along with Coach Goins, the year in review, right here on Basketball More Than the Game, and we'll be right back. All right, so listen, where's Coach Goins, and we're back in, and you know what? Our 2021 year in review. You know what, Coach Quick? I'm gonna call out these two guys. Well, we're gonna do one at a time. The first guy is a guy that we had on, and you know what? You used to snap the ball to this guy. His name is Nelson Cuevas, and you know the thing that stands out of my mind with Nelson. Nelson got on, and he was talking about his greatest game was at Northwood High School, and he was running down the stats, and he threw a couple touchdowns, and Nelson giving you his stats. Again, just talking about his flavor of the game. But the thing that really stands out with me with Nelson, he said, Coach Goins, just I'll never forget. He said, you used to call me Tree Rollins, and I said, and he said, can you remember why you called me Tree Rollins? I said no, and folks that don't know, and I'm really dating myself. Tree Rollins used to play for the Atlanta Hawks, and he was their center, and after he said it, I started laughing. And then I remember why I call him Tree Rollins, because he came out in the baseball practice with a softball glove. And that glove was so long, and he got his glove, and he came running out. He was a pitcher. And I say, Tree Rollins, what are you doing? And I don't know why, but as soon as he pulled that glove out, why my mind said Tree Rollins, I have no idea. So we certainly appreciate Nelson. Now, we'll transition up, Coach Quick, over to another guest we had on. And if I'm not mistaken, this was early July. It was Mr. Cortez Simpson. He is from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Actually, his mother and my mother are first cousins. Cortez, a dynamite young man. And you know what his whole thing is? He was so excited about what he's doing from one stroke, working with the youth as it relates to golf in North Carolina. He just reloaded back from Miami, but he does such a dynamic job. He's a graduate of Winston State University. He is a dynamite. He's on fire for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But the passion that he brought and what he's able to do, again, through one stroke, he's a PGA caddy. And I told him, this is a true story, Coach Quick. One day I was sitting there watching the tournament, and I knew he was there. I said, hey, when Tiger Woods comes out, that trailer, go live on Facebook for me. And he did. And then he went live, and then there he was. So he was filming Tiger Woods as Tiger finished up his scorecard. And when he came out, he went live, and I was able to see that firsthand. So I certainly appreciate him taking time out of his schedule, getting us kicked off. And he was one of the first guys that we had on as we rejuvened and revitalized our show. And we certainly appreciate his time and his effort. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to step away, but we have on none other than the greatest co-host this side of a basketball court, Coach Quick and Coach Goins, as we do our year in review, and we'll be back after this short break.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
All right, so we're back in, and as we get ready to rock, right? Coach Quick, let me drop a name out, man. And as we were going through our list, and we stepped out there and we got us a VP. We had the vice president of human resources from the Hershey School in Hershey, Pennsylvania, Mr. Jeff Johnson. What comes to mind when I say that name?
Man, Mr. Johnson was just passionate about what he's done for the Milton Hershey School, the work that he does. He's passionate about his family. He took time out of his vacation just to come on our show. And when that happens, man, that's special to me. That holds a special place in my heart, that he would take time from his vacation just to jump on with us and talk about life and talk about skills and success with us as well. So his accomplishments and his work that he's put in at the Milton Hershey School was just dynamic. So those are my thoughts about Mr. Jeff Johnson and his golf game. He likes to get on those links.
You know what? Actually, that day that's what actually set it up. We were actually playing golf together, and then we set the whole deal up. And he said, "I'm on vacation." I said, "No." He said, "No, man. He said, just hit me up and we'll have a good rap session and just talk about life, work-life balance, how to make sure that, you stay in tune, stay sharp, make sure you surround yourself with sharp people. And those are the things that really stand out. We certainly appreciate Jeff being on and taking time out. We wish him continued success. So as we transition, I'm going to come back with another one, and we'll be back after this break.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
What about this young guy we had on? I think he was like a bodybuilder, or, we could get in shape with Mr. Josh Brown. What comes to mind?
Man, Josh he was enthusiastic, his passion. He's a Baltimore Ravens fan, by the way. He enjoyed that conversation with us, and I'm joking about that. He talked about, how his resume goes as far as being a health and fitness instructor, bodybuilder. Josh Brown was just passionate about what he does. And, man, I just enjoyed having him on the show. And, we asked him tough questions, and he was able to come right back and hit home runs with it. And that's what I enjoyed the most about Josh.
You know what? He did a great, for him being a young guy and him being what he gives, as soon as he leaked this word out. And when he leaked the word out, I said, man, he a Duke fan and trying to be in the closet and slide it under the door. When he said when he said brotherhood, I'm like, man, I snatched that door open. I'm like, man, you a Duke fan. And he was
yes, sir, exactly.
Because as soon as he dropped the word brotherhood, I said, he ain't fooling nobody. He drinking that Kool-Aid out of Durham. But it's but it's all good though, because you know why? And that's what makes the world go around. But he's such a dynamic guy. We know we got to catch up with him because we know we had a big competition late in the year. So we'll have to run the gamut and have him back on. Now we also went south. We went and we had a gentleman on from the ATL, okay, Mr. Ramon Kegler. So what as when I drop that out, what comes to mind, Coach Quick?
Mr. Kegler, he bounced back from some adversity in his life to go ahead and start his own business after being in prison for a little while. But he was able to come back, start his own business where he's able to donate bicycles to kids that are in need. And I thought that was pretty outstanding coming from him. Mr. Kegler, and number one, he's a LeBron James fan. So me and him definitely got something in common, the big-time sports fan. But just his passion after going through that adversity in his life, that stood out to me more than anything.
You know what? That's a great call out. And one thing I really respected is his knowledge of the game. You know me, I know you, and some of the folks that's out there, they're getting to know us. But dude, man, basketball is our deal.
Yes, sir.
You were Washington excuse me, you're a Washington football guy, and I'm a Steeler guy. But man, it's something about when I walk in that gym, I can do it right now. If I got in my car, went to the gym, hit the door, walked in the gym, turned the lights on, and somebody pulls that ball out, and that ball start bouncing, it's a different game. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I don't know, and it's hard to put into words, but it takes. I don't know if it's relaxation, but it's just like I get in my element. And we had Ramon on. He was able to go there, talk about the game, the passion, and be able to take us places where a lot of young folks couldn't take us. So we certainly appreciate his body of work, and we continue to lift him up as he's making things pop in the ATL. All right, so we had another guy on from Southern Pines. This guy I grew up with. I think he was a year behind me, but now he is Pastor Gentry Winfield. What comes to mind, Coach?
Man, the Pastor Winfield, just his love for people. Man, I mean, he'll open up his church doors to anyone. Going through the pandemic, I remember him being out on the grounds at the clay hole, just praying for the people, praying for this pandemic to cease. And when you got a man of God that's like that, he doesn't mind stepping outside the four walls and showing people his love just for them. So that passion meant a lot to me. And Pastor Winfield was also, he's a sports guy. He had a family member that played for the Phoenix Suns during the NBA Finals as they took on Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's
and
right.
He talked about that. So, that stands out to me. And like I said, just Pastor Winfield being able, to open up his church doors for others that may not have a church home, that may need somewhere to have their family member funeralized or anything. So it's just his passion and his love for people that sticks out for me quite a bit with Pastor Winfield. And I think he had a project going where he was trying to do something at the community center in Berkeley, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
and
sir.
So just that passion, passion that he has for children, passion that he has for people in general, that means everything to me.
You know what? That's such a great call out and good. Man, it's just like you got this stuff written down. That's why we doing. And again, you know what? So if it was that impactful for you, we know it'll be able that impactful to everybody out. But yeah, those are the things, and that's one thing I'm proud of. Pastor Winfield is to be able to continue to drive that process. Understand what it needs. Understand that you have to take the church. See, and here's what I want to. Here's how I phrase, and here's how I would coin Pastor Winfield. He's not in the four walls.
You're right.
Even though church consists and they have to be in a building, his work and his focus is outside the four walls, and we just want to definitely appreciate him and continue to bless him as he moves forward. All right, are you ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
As I look down through here, I see a young lady, and her name is Jackie Covington.
Yes. Come out wherever you are. Elder Covington, the book that she wrote was just outstanding. Behind the mask, will the real you stand up? That means everything. Take that mask off, and regardless of what demons that you've had to battle in your life, whatever you're going through, take that mask off and allow the real you to come out. Allow God to stand up in your life and show up and show out. And just her passion for what she does, was outstanding. Working in the school system at Pinecrest, they started something for the young ladies that was outstanding. Young ladies who need that attention, who need assistance. She was right there and started a program for them. So just her passion for what she does, the love for Christ that she has meant everything to me.
You know what? That's exactly right, man. And that was folks, let me tell you something. Coach Quick ain't got no notes in front of him. He ain't reading no cue card. He is taking this straight from the heart and straight from what we covered. And as I sit here on my side in the studio in Virginia, he's in the studio in North Carolina. It does my heart good because as he calls that and he talks about the book, come out wherever you are. And again, we thank Elder Jackie Covington for what she does and continue to keep her hands on the plow. So we get ready to move on, Coach Quick. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
All right. So let's travel. This guy right here used to be at the helm of your number one basketball school, Coach
Yes, sir.
Matt Dougherty.
First and foremost, Tar Heel. He was a heel. He coached at Notre Dame University as well as at SMU, and now he started the Matt Dougherty Business School. Matt, I believe is the name of it, right?
Yeah, well, he's on the speaking circuit. Yep.
Okay, on the speaking circuit now, and wrote a dynamic book. And that was just outstanding. Matt Dougherty was just instrumental in a lot of things. His leadership ability at North Carolina and his leadership ability now in the real world, and his passion for basketball, his passion for the University of North Carolina really stood out for me. And Coach Dougherty, he went through a lot, losing his job at North Carolina. That hurt him to the core, I think, but he was able to bounce back and become a leader. And it had him questioning his leadership ability when he was fired at North Carolina, but he was able to bounce back. And his book Rebound was just outstanding. If you have not read that book, ladies and gentlemen, go out and get it, because Rebound from Pain to Passion, Matt Dougherty, he exhibited the pain, but he also exhibited the passion for life, for the game of basketball. He brought it out in that book, and that book told all. He didn't have any secrets. And you know what I remember too, Coach G?
What's that?
The brake lights.
Oh, man.
As it turned the corner. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I tell you what, I am enjoying this every step of the way, man. This is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick. We are doing our year in review, celebrating Black History Month, and we are celebrating Black History Month with all our former guests, and we are just kind of, what stood out in our mind, how it helped us, how it assisted along the way. All of our guests make an impact on Black lives. All of our guests make an impact on everybody's life, no matter what color. You just have to be open and receptive for what people are trying to sow into your life. And you know what? That book from Coach Dougherty, Rebound, From Pain to Passion, that book was one of the books I have read in 2021. I got that book and I read it in a day. And when somebody says what, I'm like, I could not put it down. And I got in it, and I knew he was going to be on the show. And I appreciate Coach Quick able to pull that off and get him on the show. But what a heck of a book, what a heck of a ride. So listen, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick. We're going to step away, pay a few bills, but we are doing our 2021 year in review, and we'll be back after this break. All right, listen, we are back on, and you know what? We are having a fantastic show, and we are talking year in review 2021, and we are doing this and during Black History Month. So we are so excited to have on. We don't have a special guest. Well, I guess we do. It's always us. We're special. Coach Quick is special to me, and hopefully I'm special to him and our wives. I hope they can say that we're special to them. And you know what? We want to take a second, and I want to appreciate Coach Quick's wife along with my wife, just because number one, we step away. People think we just we do a podcast, but it requires work. It requires us to, number one, be on the grind, getting our guests coming. We got to do the Q&A. Coach Quick and I do before we go on the air, he and I are together, going through our notes, making sure that we're dialed in, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, the flow. So it's not just, we don't pull up, just jump out, jump in the chair and jump on. So it is a lot of work, and I appreciate our wise understanding and allowing us or supporting us during our passion. So we also just want to give them a shout out and just thank them for allowing us to step away and allow us to do that. So, with that, Coach Quick, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Coming at you, Coach Jeff Capel.
Wow. Hey, Coach Capel, what I remember is curry chicken thighs, cooking up, cooking up his special meal in the kitchen, and just his passion for the game of basketball, his passion for life, his passion for his family. Being a top level assistant coach at Duke at one time, winning the national championship as an assistant coach at Duke. Now he's the head man at Pitt. He's done a wonderful job at the University of Pittsburgh, and he's really just a nice guy. He got a kick out of the fact that whenever I made the formal introduction of saying inside the Oakland Zoo, that brought laughter to him. So he really enjoyed himself on basketball more in the game. Then he's the cousin of the greatest host of this side of heaven, and Coach Goins. So what more can you ask for, Coach Capel? Outstanding job. Keep doing what you do, and we bid you Godspeed at Pitt.
You know what, man? You're exactly right, man. What a great. It was a great show, man. When I sit back and listen, we talked life, we talked. Oh my gosh, what didn't we talk about? But like you said, actually, I asked him that when I went up to the game back in December. I said after the game was over, and it was tough because I went up to see my former player plays with Monmouth, and actually I got to talk to my guy. I got to talk to Coach King Rice after the game. And then, of course, I got to spend a little bit of time with Coach Capel, and as we left the arena, and that's what's special is, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, Coach Quick, is when you're able to go to the game and the game's over with, win, lose, or draw, to be able to come out and get in the car, because a lot of people can't say they get dropped off after the game by the head coach of ACC school, but that's just what happens when you're cousins, and he understands that we drive up. Yeah, they didn't win, but in all, it's life, and you got to be able to process that. But in that, just spending that time with him in the car on the way and on the way back, as he's gonna drop me off at the hotel, I say, hey, did you get them curry chicken thighs? And of course, he starts laughing, and it's good because it's tough. I mean, I get it, but what a great guy! What a great testimony of him and his body of work and his entire staff. What great guys. And what a great show. And he took us back. He talked about some of the guys that we played with. He says, if I could play defense like Johnny Hines, if I could run the point like Ken Spencer, if I could shoot like Bernard McNair, he said, if I had the passion and the heart of Bobby Collins, and if I could jump like Antonio Johnson, he said, I would be a great player. And I was like, and that took me back, because those are 5 guys that, number one, that I hold very dear and near to me, and those guys were players. And for him to go back, and he was a kid. When I say kid, he was a kid when all of that was going down, and for him to remember that and be able to tie it all in like that, man, that was just like, it spoke volumes. So I certainly appreciate him taking time out, stepping away, and being on the show. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go down south. And when I say down south, we're going to land at Brunswick Community College. And this person is Coach Shaw.
Yes, Coach Walter Shaw, a real nice guy. He reached out to me, wanted to be on the show, just stated what we're doing, man, just giving a platform to people to be able to tell their story is big time. He's the all-time winningest coach at Brunswick Community College, and it's just outstanding, man. He's a family guy. He takes the time, and he's very passionate about where he is and what he's doing, at Brunswick Community College. He hasn't really had a thought about trying to be a big-time coach in the ACC or anything, because he just enjoys being able to do what he does with his kids and then go home to his family each and every night and just enjoy them.
You know what?
And,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you there.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: what stands out in my mind, I remember the name of that episode, "The Crossroads."
Yes, sir.
Because and what we try to do, folks, when we name the shows is what whoever the guest is as we're going through and they're dropping dimes and we're listening on our ends is they always say something to what just goes I always have an aha moment. And when Coach Shaw was talking and he said, he says it's like I meet him at the crossroads. And I was like, wow, that's it. That's the name of the show. So they're having a great year. What a great year for him personally. They named the court is named after him. He's good friends with our good friend Coach Bobby Collins from Shaw University. So small world. Appreciate Coach BC saying, hey, you get an opportunity. Because actually they talked and they says, hey, if you get an opportunity, you need to be on this podcast. He said, because before long, you're not going to be able to get on there because these guys are going to be action-packed. So, Coach Quick, man, you're knocking it out of the park. And as we continue to move along, are you ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Coach Montez McGregor.
My brother-in-law, Coach Tez, the power of his why. Just his passion for his sons and how he wants to just lead and be big time for them and live by the example that his mother, his grandmother, his sisters, and his aunts laid out for him. He just want to be a passionate father who wants to have much success coaching college football and ultimately someday maybe be a head coach or be in the NFL coaching someday. But the power of his why was his twins. They were born the night on a night that they beat Scotland County Senior High School in the year that he won the state championship at Southern Durham High School. He went on to coach at Fayetteville State University as well as Johnson C. Smith University after Southern Durham, and he's done an outstanding job, and he's just passionate about what he does, and I'm proud to call him my brother-in-law.
You know what? That's a great and when you were telling that, I thought about when he said that when he goes back to recruit, they always ask him how the Scotland twins are, which was special. And those are the things, and that's why we do the year in review, is because folks, you don't realize how our guest impacts us. And like I said, Coach Quick is doing this, and it's not like it's set up. He's not looking at notes. He just knows. He knows the game, and that's why he's on the show. He's just recapping from his heart. All right, here we go. We're moving along. We're going to go over here at Dr. Wanda Brockington.
Dr. Brockington, man, she great person, great speaker. She's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
We ain't going to hold that against her.
Yeah, we won't hold that against her. But, I mean, just the fact that she's always had a passion to lead. Her as well as her husband, they were both doctors in their profession, and man, it's just outstanding. She's a passionate person. She's a fan. She's a sports fan, and just I just enjoyed talking to her about life, skills, and success. And she's also a family member of yours.
That's correct. Yeah, her and I are first cousins. Her dad and my dad were brothers. And yeah, in that, and the things that she said when she brought to the table when she was trying to get, in the sports, is to be on the sidelines. And that she said, she took us back 40 years. Women weren't on the sidelines. Women weren't. That was just not the thing. Now you turn on the TV, everybody, there's a lady on the show, and the lady on the show, there's always somebody on the sideline, somebody in the studio. And it's always working. So we certainly appreciate her. All right, now you know what, Coach? Man, we'd almost ran down through our list. We got a couple more, and we're gonna be putting the wraps on this thing. All right, what about the guy that's coaching football, and high school is called Overhills? We had on Coach Bernard Bacon.
Man, big time guy, colleague of ours from Union Pines High School. He was the wrestling coach at Union Pines, and he won a state championship at that other school in Durham called Durham Hillside. A famous alumnus, Mr. Rodney Rogers, was there, a big time basketball standout there, and Coach Bacon is just a nice guy. He's passionate about what he does. He's definitely a God fearing person, and he's leading those kids at Over Hills High School now. So hopefully he's going to win a state championship as a head coach here soon.
You know what? He is a stand-up guy. You know, one thing about Bake, as I always called him, is he's younger than I am, and I understand that. And he came to Union Pines, and he was coming in, and as I was transitioning out, and he was able to stay the course. And we certainly appreciate his focus, his ability to lead, his ability to take care of business on the field, off the field. Now he's at the helm at Overhill, so we wish him continued success. But what a just a dynamic guy to have on the show, along with all of the other coaches that we had on. So listen, here's a guy that we had on, and I know you're ready for this. His official title, he's a pastor, but we gave him an adopted name. We call him Coach Curry. And when we talk about what comes to mind when I say Pastor Todd Curry?
Pittsburgh Steelers fan, also a family member, very passionate about teaching and preaching God's word at St. Peter the Rock Incorporated. He's also he's in the music industry. He had the group Pastor Todd Curry in Focus, and he's just big time. I mean, he had a chance to be at the Red Carpet Award, the Gospel Music Awards here recently. Just been outstanding, and he's leading the flock at St. Peter the Rock. He's a stand-up guy, and like I said, he's a Steelers fan. He's a business owner. And he likes a challenge. He likes the pressures of day-to-day life, of being a pastor, being a business owner, and he handles it. He knocks it out of the park, just like any Pittsburgh Steelers fan would.
Wow. Man, you hear that, folks? And that is coming from Coach Mike Quick, who is, right now, he's a fan of the Washington football team, but I think he may slowly migrate further north west, and that would be to come over to the black and gold. But no, Pastor Todd Curry, what I remember about that show, man, is just a passion. He was when we brought him across on the call, he was lit up. He was ready to go. He had us, dipping. Actually, I'm gonna have to say this, and out of not disrespecting anybody that's on the show, but for a pastor, man, he brought it. And what I mean by that, he just a flat out energy, and it was just A to Z. So we had a great time. So we wish him continued success at St. Peter's the Rock Incorporated, and that's in Eastwood, North Carolina. That's on Esther Road. For those of you that don't know. All right, man, we almost at the end. So we're gonna make our way to St. Louis. And when I was in St. Louis, I had the chance to go by Sweetie Pies. And I had dinner there with my homeboy Earl Jones, and what a great time. And actually, Sweetie Pies was closed, Coach Quick, and they came to the door. And I told them, I said, man, we've been here twice, and it's been closed. She said, come on in, and what y'all want? Man, she ran that thing down through there, boy, we got some. I said, what you got for dessert? She said, egg custard. I said, hook the brother up. So we had the egg custard, we had that fried chicken, man. And guess what we had to do? We couldn't eat.
Yes.
We couldn't eat in there because they were closed. So we went and sat in the car. So we right, and we come out. We had some barbecue, and then Earl dropped the barbecue sauce out on the street. I said, "Dude, you dropped the barbecue sauce, but it's all good." But in that, we did have a good time. So now that we're in St. Louis, we had on Dennis Love, and somebody say, "Who is Dennis Love?" He is the father of Caleb Love, who is the starting point guard, or starting two guard at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. What comes to mind, Coach Quick?
Coach Love, just his passion and his love for his son Caleb and for his family. He's a big time basketball guy himself, former AAU coach. Just being able to just sit here and talk and pick his brain about basketball, about the University of North Carolina, about his love for the hiring of Coach Hubert Davis. Just talking hoops with him and life. And like he said, him and his wife, they put their lives on hold to make sure Caleb had everything that he needed to be able to succeed at the game of basketball or whatever he decided to do. They wanted to make sure they put everything they needed to put into him, and so they put their lives on hold. And now they're just as supportive of him as they were when he was a 6-year-old kid when they first put the ball in his hands. Now he's the starting two guard for the University of North Carolina, and I'm sure that Dennis Love will be the first one to get on Caleb and tell him, Caleb, you didn't bring any passion or energy the other night against the University of Miami. So against Wake Forest on Saturday, I know Coach Love is telling Caleb, you got to bring it, just like you and the rest of your teammates.
So he went on and he went on and sowed some seeds, and I hear you, Coach. So listen, we got ready to. We got last but not least, and somebody said last but not least. Yeah, we saved this one because he was on right before Christmas. He was on, and Coach Quick put him on the spot, man. And you might have heard his voice on The Voice. Coach Quick, what comes to mind when I say Matt Johnson?
Man, thinking about Matt Johnson, I think about Christmas, and I think about how I put him on the spot. So, Matt, hey, I put you on the spot. So here we go. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Hey, I put you on the spot, so I had to come out and do a little something. You know what I'm saying?
Watch out, watch out.
Matt, you a outstanding young man. I can't sing in your shoes any day of the week. You're one of the most talented young individuals that I've ever come encounter with, and also one of the nicest guys I've ever come encounter with. To have you on the show, Basketball More Than a Game, just to hear your passion for your family, your mother and your father, for Christmas, your entire family, man, that meant so much to me. And I hope we have you on again real soon, especially after you win that Grammy, because it's coming, young brother. Just keep putting Christ first.
All right, man. So you know what, man, I tell you what, we have ran down 2021, our guest, and you know what a heck of a year. So when you look back on that, Coach Quick, that runs all the way from July all the way till December 31st. So those were our guests, and we want to just take a minute as we start to put the wraps on this thing. Is just we want to thank everyone for everything that you've done. We want to thank everybody for every person that you have spoken into. We want to thank everybody for every seed that you have sown in anybody's life that you've touched. So Lord, we gonna say a prayer over our guests real quick, Coach Quick. So we just want to say, Lord, we just ask that you continue to bless our guests that was on in 2021, whatever you assign their hearts and hands to do. We ask that you allow it to happen tenfold, that you bless them coming, bless them going. And as we move into as we've already started 2022, we are all off and running really, really well. We celebrated our 100th show. We've already had on some dynamic guests, and we're not going to talk about that because we got a whole year to line them up and get ready. And then you know what? Our challenge is each and every week, you know, Coach Quick and I go back and forth, and we're pushing the envelope and say, who we going to have on? Let's have this person on now. We've got a couple of things brewing. Hopefully we'll be able to manifest, or they'll manifest themselves into getting us some people that we'd love to have on pretty soon. But we've got a dynamic year set up, and we look to do great things. So I'm going to kick it over to Coach Quick for his closing comments.
Well, Coach G, I just want to say that I'm thankful for every guest that was on in 2021. From top to bottom, the list was just dynamic. And, man, I just enjoyed every show. Being able to sit here and just listen to the passion that these guys have brought to our show, Basketball More Than a Game, it has meant everything. And I'm like you, I pray that God bless them with their going in and their coming out. It's truly been an honor to have you on. God bless you all, and I bid you Godspeed.
You know what? And I can't come in behind that. So listen, I just want to say thank you for everybody that continues to support Basketball More Than the Game, our wives, our family, every listener, everybody that's downloading. So we hope and we pray that you enjoyed our year in review, and that is Basketball More Than the Game 2021. So just sit back, enjoy it, and Coach Quick, get us to the locker room.
For Coach Goins, myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the gym.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.